Warhammer Wednesday, in the middle of the week. We're surviving. We're doing it. Hello, Rabbit Wombat. How are you doing today? Hopefully things are going okay. So lately we've been doing a lot of, and hello to everyone else. Hello. Lately we've been doing a lot of Space Marines. Mild panic attack. Uh-oh. Well, I hope it has passed. If that's the way it works for you. I know we all react differently to stress and panic and things. So this is a very old Chaos Demon. The new model for this is really, really cool. I do not have one yet. Yeah, Zardoz, I got the notification. I was with the kids all morning, so I will definitely look at it and retweet and repost for sure once I get a chance. So again, this is the old Keeper of Secrets. Like I said, the new one is about twice as tall, super cool, lots of interesting options. Looks really great, all painted up. This is another model that I have that I did not paint. I bought him, her, it from somebody previously, but it's pretty good. So I do have a Chaos Demon. This is Slaaneshi Demon. I think this is the only actual demon I have that's built. Like I said, it's just been around. I have played it in fun games using the rules for the new one, which is pretty cool. Oh, I think I played this against my son, playing against his orcs. Yeah. Anyway, so, like I said, looking for something different to do since we've been doing a lot of Space Marines lately. And I do have this hanging around. Now, well, Rabbit Wombat, I mean, look, to be perfectly honest, I have some Slaanesh stuff. If I was going for more Slaanesh, I'd really want the updated Keeper of Secrets and the stuff that came out around that time, like the Fiends and, the Infernal and Raptress or whatever it is, like that era stuff from last year or the year before. Yeah, now it says Warhammer Age of Sigmar on the box, but of course these are models and units that you can use in both Age of Sigmar and 40k. Which is where I thought this box was actually branded with both, but it's not for some reason. And I know this has some booklet in it for Age of Sigmar, so I guess that's why, but I don't know, it's weird. Because yeah, these are the... Yes, Rabbit Wombat. Well, Rabbit Wombat, if I needed anything, that would be what I needed. So let's see what we got. And again, this is a start collecting box. This box it looks like it is still available from Games Workshop. Ooh, lots of fiddly bits. It's got a pretty sizable book. So we have Daemonettes. These are the lovely ladies. And there's an Allurus and a Hornblower. I don't know exactly what all of their options are, and an icon bearer. And then, so essentially what you do with these is you build the bodies, and then you put together the special versions, and then you give them arms and heads. And it comes with a whole bunch of different options, so you can sort of customize how you want them to look. Then there are Seekers, and again, these are the riders of these weird reptilian, aquatic, biped things. So you build those, and then you build the people to go on top. Again, similar options with icon bearer, hornblower, and then you give them heads and all the rest. Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I actually bought this box. It was a while ago. And then the Exalted Seeker Chariot of Slaanesh. So it has a couple of those creatures mounted on this sort of bladed thing that tears up enemies as it goes. And then you add more blades and more blades and more blades. And it makes basically like the chariot behind here on the... Yeah, this is going to be an interesting thing to build. And then it comes with more of these Daemonettes that you can put in different places depending on how you want to outfit it. Now, again, because this is technically an Age of Sigmar box, it has Age of Sigmar rules in the back in a bunch of different languages. But here it also has the 40k rules. And then some images, how to paint them. Yes, 8th edition, yes. Seekers, Exalted, Seeker, Chariot. So eventually it'll look like that. We got a lot of very thin little stabby bits in here. Look at these whips. So I suppose we should go in order and start with the Daemonettes. So we've got Seekers. It looks like we've got a bunch of repeated sprues. So these are so you get 4 of them here, and then some of the special options. More of those. And then here, I was going to say, where are our Daemonettes? They're all the way at the bottom. Interesting. All right, cool. Yeah, builders, I'm not entirely up on the Age of Sigmar storyline. I know Slaanesh was imprisoned and either has escaped or is about to escape. I don't know. And remember, while these gods and characters exist both in Age of Sigmar and in 40k, they're not technically the same. So however you want to rationalize that, be my guest. Let me know. Maybe it'll help me rationalize it. Okay, so the rules say assemble parts in the pairs indicated. Interesting. So you do have to match up the main bodies and then their other leg, but then you can choose all of the rest of the stuff as you go. There are no numbers, but there are pictures. That's kind of annoying. I'm assuming it's the ones that are next to them, but I am not going to take that for granted. Let's see. Oh man, that's kind of crazy. Because how do you know which one is which? Okay, yeah, it does look like they are... I'm just making sure. Okay, yes, they do match up. Whew, okay. That would be really annoying if they didn't. Because all it does is show you this, and it says, put them in the pairs indicated. And then there's a little box with a little front and a little other leg. But again, no numbers. All of these bodies look very similar. Obviously, there are differences, but they are very slight. But thankfully, it appears that they are laid out so that this leg goes with this body, this leg with this body, this leg with this body. Woo! All right. But now I also need to make sure that as I start plucking things out, I don't scatter them to the winds, which I sometimes do when I cut out too many pieces before putting the models together. I saw John was talking about that on one of his build streams, about how he cuts out all the parts sometimes and then looks at the parts and realizes that he's not sure which is which and what goes where. I can empathize with that situation. So stay together. And remember, folks, if you're interested in Games Workshop products, get a login for the website. go put a whole bunch of stuff in your shopping cart and leave it there, because they're gonna give away fulfilling somebody's shopping cart up to, what was it, about $300 for the winners? There'll be multiple winners, but each one gets something like $300 value, something like that. So go do that. I did it. I got a bunch of stuff in my shopping cart. And you can do that on both Games Workshop, regular store, and on Forge World, where, of course, $300 does not go nearly as far. Oh, it's 300 pounds. Okay, so it's a little bit more in dollars than for us, probably. I confess I do not know what the exchange rate is these days. It changes very frequently. So yeah, most Slaanesh units, basically everything in here, they are very, very fast. They fight pretty well. A lot of rules for going even faster, getting speed buffs, fighting first. Some rules like what am I thinking? If you roll high to wounds, then they can get bonuses to their AP, stuff like that. But fairly fragile. The Seekers in particular are the ones that are riding on those crazy animals. They are insanely fast, and they can basically go double speed, and then there are all sorts of ways to go faster and reroll things. I think they can. What did I read? That like on turn 1, if they go their full move and then charge, they can get like 32 inches or something. So definitely possible to get turn 1 charges. And I do have, I think I've talked about this before, I've got a couple of boxes of old metal Daemonettes. I'm not, offhand, I'm not sure which edition they're from. And again, the styles of these Daemonettes have changed quite a bit over the years, from edition to edition. Okay, I just got confused that I was behind on one of my legs, but no, we're all good here. You can field Daemonettes in units of up to, I think you can make pretty big blobs. I know you can run them in units of at least 20. Can you do them up to 30? I don't know. So in theory, I should have 10. I should have 30 Daemonettes once I build all the stuff that I have, and then I have the stuff from that other game that I can use as proxy Daemonettes. So I've got a fair number of Daemonette type things. But yeah, otherwise these are all the demons I have. Oh, and then of course I do have a couple of demon princes. Well, the one prince and the one third-party princess. Other more things that you can use in either game. Come on. So it's a start to a Chaos Demon army. I am in no rush to add things to this army, though. Okay. Oh. I'm assuming that these go together pretty straightforwardly. Just got to do a little bit of trimming. But there weren't a lot of connecting parts for these, which is nice. Basically just the two parts for the leg, and then 3 on the bodies. Their little itty bitty shoulders. It's interesting going to a small, relatively small form like this, very, very thin, especially after primarily doing Space Marines all day long, all day, all the time. It's like, oh, this is what a non-Space Marine body looks like. It's a lot smaller. I guess that leg goes with that one. Weird. As long as one foot will touch the base, right? That's all you need. Get my bases, get my plastic glue, and we are good to go. Cool. Yes, so I believe what I saw is that Zardoz, the Armies on Display project, is ready for people to check it out and sign up, get on board. Very excited. Yeah, so the basic bodies are 2 parts. There's a torso with 1 leg, and then you just attach the other leg. And again, that's because of, the design for sprues and the way the plastic has to flow through the sprue. If you have a model with 2 legs, it makes it so that the plastic can't flow in between, and there's nowhere for it to come out and pull the model out of the mold. It's all very complicated, and I still wish that I could talk to somebody who does that. Well, right, no, and there are different ways of doing molds, and it just depends on how close together the parts are and where the undercut is. It's a very important term when talking about molds and parts, are undercuts. If you have a deep undercut, then the more likely you're going to have to split that up into 2 pieces. These itty bitty little chicken legs. You stay over there. Cute. Hey, Keen456. If you missed it, we had Doomsday yesterday afternoon with Jessica. We read a good little chunk. We're getting very close to the end of the book. There's still some crazy momentous stuff that's going to happen in that book. So if you are interested, tune into those. It won't be too much longer now. Oh, and then speaking of books, shoot, I need to post it in many more places. But the book club is happening. It is this Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Jessica and I will be live on her Discord to talk about Creatures of Light and Darkness. As soon as I'm cutting this, I can grab it. It's just off screen. Talking about basically the first 55 or so pages. Creatures of Light and Darkness. Jessica's Discord this Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Be there. We're going to talk about the first section of the book. Oh, Keen, yeah, it was, oh man. It was a good game. We learned a lot. We definitely all learned a lot about the new strategies that are involved in trivia now. And our next event will be very interesting because we're going to have the same rules for at least one more time. But yes, I am super proud of my teammates. Because yeah, we did really, really well. Could have had it. It was my game to lose, and I lost it. I had a strategy that would have won me the game, but I didn't get cocky. I got nervous, and I didn't have all of my math in place. So, but again, I take full responsibility because like I said, my team members were awesome. I believe we got everything right, just like Cam's team. But it's all about how you play the game. Uh-oh. That didn't sound good. Yeah, I mean, obviously from the time before, when Jessica's answer prevented me from getting a mind meld. It's like, oh, okay, that can happen, but yeah, man, things really changed this this last time. And the degree of, oh, wait a minute, we can use these power ups not just to help ourselves, but in tandem with other strategies to screw other people. I'm sure if you go back and watch that video, I think you can probably see it in my eyes and on my face when the full impact of the possibilities crashed over me and awakened within me. Because I'll be honest, when I play games with friends, I'm always looking to screw them over. It's just the kind of game player I am. And boy, did we come up with new ways. Yeah, math clubs. Well, I've said this before. My least favorite term when it comes to board games is semi-cooperative. Like, no. There's no such thing as semi-cooperative. How do I win? How do I win? I don't care about other people winning. I care about me winning. If it's semi-cooperative, that means I'm out to screw the other players. Period. Unless a game is fully cooperative, that's different. That's fine. Because then again, I'm playing so that I can win. But I'm not trying to play a game where I could help other people win. No. Yeah, exactly, Zardoz. This is semi-cooperative business. That's not a thing. And don't get me wrong, I do love fully cooperative games. It's just this I don't consider anything to be semi-cooperative. It's either or. No, see, that's the thing, Emily. As if we are actually all working toward the same goal and we all win together, that's great. But if it's like, well, you could do it this way or you could do it, no. Okay. These look really fiddly, but they're actually coming together pretty well. And gluing onto their base as well. They're so small and thin. Can we do your stats quiz for you? Oh no. Possibly. Benjamin is excelling at math, which is really nice to see. I mean, of course, he's 6, so who knows how things are going to go from here. But so far so good. He has a game. It's like an online role playing game essentially, but it's for little kids, students, and you have to solve a math problem every time you make an attack, essentially. And he's very quickly leveled up through kindergarten math, through first grade level math, and is now doing second grade level math. And we're like, that's cool. We'll let you keep playing as long as you're learning new stuff. Keen says you'd like DEF CON, I think. It's a computer game that everyone at the start of nuclear war, and eventually someone is going to lose. Okay, yeah. Well, we definitely can provide encouragement. That is for sure. Yeah, yeah, Nerdy Duck, interesting. I think I was probably, I guess I could, was I the opposite? Probably the opposite. So I was always, as a kid, I was always really good at math. And I was always in and then in high school I was always in honors math and whatever, and I always got A's, and I never had to work all that hard in math until I got to calculus. And I looked at and I remember looking at the book and going through the first couple weeks of the lessons, and I was like, I don't understand this at all. My brain just does not work this way. And it was an AP class, my senior year of high school, and the teacher was really cool and said, essentially, okay, listen, I have a deal that I make with my students. Clearly you've gotten this far because you know how to do math and you're a good student and all that stuff. You will not fail. As long as you try, you'll get the lowest passing grade, but essentially you can turn this class into pass fail, and you will not fail as long as you try. And I said, thank you very much, because otherwise I would have failed. Now, there were parts of calculus, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but there were parts that did click with me instantly. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And then a few weeks would go by and I would ace all of the tests, and then it would go back to the other stuff, and again I would be like, I can't do this at all. It was very interesting. It sort of tells you something about how your brain works. Oh, no. But yeah, I was very grateful to have a teacher like that who understood. Oof. Yeah, abstract algebra and advanced calculus. That sounds crazy. Well, Emily, I mean, hey, look, we've got people here who definitely know math. So if you have any questions, I'm sure people would be happy to help. But yeah, it's all about just getting your brain to work in different ways and figuring out, as I tell Benjamin, it's all about figuring out what they're asking you for, right? You can look at numbers and manipulate numbers all day, but what are they asking you to do? And are there different ways of getting to that answer? I never took an actual statistics class. It wasn't part of in high school, it wasn't part of the advanced track that I was on, which is probably not for the best. I mean, obviously there were some statistics in what I did, but it's probably helpful for everybody to do a dedicated statistics class at some point. And then I'm trying to think of what I know. I did some math in college just for like the basic requirement, but I have no recollection of a college math class. Weird. I probably just took something easy because I wasn't going into anything that required it. Oh no! Oh, Keen, you cried during the final. Oh no! I've cried during tests too. So, I'm very sorry to hear that. Ooh, Black Cavalier almost got a second degree in math, but couldn't get stats. Yeah, it's so interesting how some things click with our brains, and some things absolutely will not click. Pre-calc and logic, yeah. Huh. Interesting. Look at all you all have such interesting things to say about your classes. I love it. Operations research. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Why there are more registers than cashiers in stores? Yeah, now see that sounds like it's blending into some other, yeah, not just math, but like actual, I don't know, practical, but yeah, real world effects. Ooh, friend in college who failed algebra 12 semesters in a row. Wow. Yeah, again, like you can be super smart and super capable in certain areas and with certain skills, and other ones will just absolutely elude you. Our brains, our brains are not the same. You and I can have very different brains that think about, process things very differently. Thankfully, we're getting into an age when scholastic systems are kind of understanding that kind of stuff more. And it'll be interesting to see what school looks like in, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years. It's an interesting thread about parents and how you, excuse me, how you should react when your child is not doing well in a subject or fails a test or something, and how, that's not the time to punish your child because they're not getting it. That's It's the biggest call for help there could possibly be, and and how to deal with it. It's very interesting. It's not the old days anymore where it's like, okay, you failed something, get out the belt. Thankfully, that never happened to me, but I know, I know that was a thing. Yeah. Oh, Emily, look, I understand about having to take, fulfill all these basic requirements, even though it has nothing to do with what you're trying to do. Discrete mathematics and set theory. Wow. Different kinds of infinity. Oh, I don't know anything about that. That sounds rad. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yes. Black Cavalier. Yes. I mean, there are there are cases when it could be the child's fault for sure. Yeah, I think we're talking the ideal form of the child genuinely needs help. Oh, this one doesn't attach quite as well. Hold that one for a second. Ooh, show your work. Well, that's interesting too. And as we're seeing, because I was, again, until I got to calculus, math was easy for me. And yeah, I would always get upset when it was like, show your work. It's like, oh, look, I understand. I can do it. I can do most of this stuff in my head. Why do I have to show my work? Even then, in the in the mid '90s, we had pretty advanced calculators that you could do all sorts of crazy stuff on. But it's interesting now having a 6-year-old And to watch him try to do math in his head and then sometimes gets things wrong and be like, no, we need to write this out and we need to see what we're doing and how we get to the answer. So I have a, and he pushes back because he wants to do it in his head. He wants to do it fast, but yeah. I've never heard of this multiple sets of infinity thing. I got to look this up. And of course now there's Common Core and like now there are new ways of doing math that we as parents need to learn to be able to teach our kids how to do it right. Yeah, so that's fun. Okay, these guys are, sorry, not guys, these ladies are coming along very well. I have tried to build some of my old metal Daemonettes, and I practically threw them across the room. I'm not looking forward to trying those again. I'll find somebody who can build them for me. Again, metal miniatures and we do not get along. Plastic, I can build all day long. Resin's a little tricky, but I don't mind it. Oh my god, I hate building metal models. Yeah, the new math. I don't have a good vision of how to glue things properly with metal. It always seems like I'm using too much glue or not enough glue or my coverage is wrong or I don't I can't I don't know. I just metal miniatures and I do not get along. And I've literally had hobby nights when I've been struggling with something, trying to glue it, and then I'll hand it to my friend, and he'll just glue, push, done, and that's it. Very frustrating. Yeah, and I'm not conceptually, I'm not against new concepts in math, like the idea of a common core, and because I get it, I get that different students learn things in different ways, and conceptualize and are able to approach things differently. Like I said, I just don't know it, and I need to know it because apparently that's what my children will be learning in school. And it's actually kind of funny because, like I said, Benjamin is now doing essentially second grade math in this game, and it involves adding and subtracting two digit numbers, and I'm sure, I'm teaching him how to do it the traditional way, carry the one, things like that. And I don't think that's what Common Core is going to teach him, but I don't know Common Core yet to teach him the new right way for school. Some of these legs are a little wonky. That's fine. It'll be fine. All right, that's good enough. I'm also of the mind that yes, a lot of the math that you learn in school, you do never go on to use it in life. Now that's not true for everybody, of course, So if this Common Core is better for more people to learn and understand things, then sure, great. Yeah, and like I said, I don't. When Common Core was coming and was enacted a couple of years ago, basically I looked at what was happening and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna take the time to learn this stuff now, because by the time my kids are in school and in a grade that this is gonna matter, it may all change again by then. So yeah, I know that already, that now it's not the same thing as it was a couple of years ago. Yeah, so who knows? I'm not too stressed out about it. And I also think that, again, thankfully, because Benjamin is ahead, if we hopefully, I would think that if we teach him sort of the old standbys, and then he gets to a class where they're teaching him some of these new ways, he'd be like, okay, I get it because I already know this. Then we'll see. Oh yeah, the idea of standardizing education just on its face is kind of nonsensical. I mean, sort of you can standardize what knowledge you want kids to have at certain points, but how you get there is going to be so different for different people. Hello, Aaron's. Oh, you're never late. You're exactly on time. We've been talking about math and education. Very fun topics for a Wednesday morning. And I'm building little demon ladies. And I almost have 10 of these little bodies done. This is lady number 9. Yeah, for as fiddly as they are, they stand up pretty well and glue right onto the base. Oh yeah, I mean, and talking about what schools are and sort of how they work, that's a whole other question, whole other topic. Yeah, the differences between what schools in affluent areas get and can do versus schools in lower income areas, it's ridiculous. Okay. Now, are the special characters separate, or am I supposed to figure out which ones they are from this group? Oh, or can I make any one into the special ones? I think I can do any of them? I don't know. I'll take a look in a second. Oh no, it must be in these because I only have 10 of these little bases. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you look at these, they have clawed feet. They have tails. They're all wearing, you can see there's like not, it's kind of like a loincloth kind of thing. And then they've got a little, oh man, I can't get the angle right here. It's kind of like a corset. And they all have one like female breast on one side, and then the other side is just muscle. It's hard to see, hard to show. Okay, take a look at this sprue. Yeah, so those are all the bodies, and then we've got a bunch of heads, a bunch of claw, snappy arms, and then these big claws. Some of these wild. Ooh, look at that one. That's cool. Oh, there we go. Boom. Now, yeah, like I said, I don't know what the actual rules are for these. Can I only have? Do I have to have an Allurus, a hornblower, an icon bearer? Can I only have a certain number of those? I don't know. But also, I don't care. I'm just going to build what looks cool. Ooh, we should talk about the Legion of the Damned one of these days. That'd be cool. Is the Allurus even actually a different character? I don't know that name. But essentially on here, it just shows the Allurus as having these bigger claws. You don't have to have them. One Allurus per squad, one icon bearer, and one hornblower per 10. Okay, so if I'm building 10, I could have one of each of those in that unit of 10. Maybe. Well, like I said, I have more Daemonettes to build, so I'm going to build these with the special options, and then I should have enough to... I mean, it's whatever. They're just... I'm going to build what looks cool. So I'm going to use all of the big claws, because they look neat. And then that's the horn blower. Where's the... Oh, there's a little tiny arm. Ooh, itty bitty arm. Okay. So yeah, there's a fair amount of, not necessarily customization, but choices that you have in these kits. Now the next question is, do I want the claws... You know what? I'm going to start mixing and matching. I'm not going to be tied down. Because what if I want one lady to have one big claw and one little claw? That way I can have 4 Daemonettes with one big claw and one little claw, rather than just 2 with 2 big claws. That's what I'm doing. Spreading the wealth. A more equitable division of claws. Yeah, that's fine. Well, because only one of them is going to have the really crazy hair. So yes, the ranks in this unit will be decided by hairstyle. Okay. Good. I know, and there are so many heads to choose from. Oh, there's a mohawk head. That's cool. Oh, a couple of them. Yeah, so essentially we've got the huge hair, two with hair flowing. Oh, in opposite directions. That's neat. And then a bunch of little ones. There are some bald ones. There are some in various pigtails, top knots, some kind of weird. Oh, it looks like. Ha! That's funny. She got like blades, and her hair's flying up, so it sort of makes the Slaanesh symbol out of her head and hair. Silly. Cool. Man, where do I start? Oh wow, these are very small connection points for these arms. Yay. Right, this is going to take me a while just to make sure I'm doing it all right. Which side? I guess like that. Okay. Do any of them have helmets? No. No helmets for the Daemonettes. But they have cool looking unhelmeted heads. Some of them anyway. I don't love all of their head options, but overall they're pretty cool. Yeah, with his as tiny as these are, gluing on these arms is definitely going to require a bit of holding for these things to set in place. Okay. Oh yeah, shoot, that did not. Oh no. Okay, there we go. And it's neat what they did. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but because the arms just sort of stick on, there's a sculpted, it's almost like an armband sculpted at the edge of that arm part. So you're not going to see, well, so you might see basically a line of where it meets the upper arm or the shoulder, but there's an armband there, so it gives it a reason why there's a line and a little break. Emily, that is an excellent question. Did they get in the same division because they have the same hair, or do they have the same hair because they're in the same division? Builders, that is also a good question. Do you have any thoughts on lighting your paint table? So here's something. Unfortunately, the lighting in my house is garbage. We have lots of issues with lights in our house. Here, for streaming and then for taking pictures, we have two tripod mounted lights that have very bright. They're white balanced LED lights, and they're good for some things and terrible for some other things. But that's just what we have right now, what we're dealing with. But yeah, other than that, we have recessed lights in our house that are LEDs, but they're yellow, and they were supposed to last for decades, and already several of them are flickering and dying on us. It's a whole thing. Let's see, I want one that's a little bit more aggressive. Ooh, like this one. That should be cool. Yeah, and honestly, I could have more light where I am right now if I angled the lights toward me, but then on camera things get a little bit more blown out. Whoa. Yeah, it's not an up close personal system like a ring light or some of those other things that other streamers have. Again, because we're using these lights also for photography and other things. And I can't do all those neat like mood lighting things that all of my cool streamer friends can do. Change the colors and all sorts of stuff like that. No, these are just giant LED cans in a closed off structure. Oh, this one just does not want to line up. Come on. Yeah, these arms are going to be super fiddly, but they're working. It's going to take a while to get these arms on. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to be really happy mixing and matching these arms. I think it's going to look cool. I like it. Yeah, oh, and also I should say that while most of my streamer friends have dedicated streaming spaces and for Texas, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, I've dedicated streaming spaces where the computer's set up and they can do all the lights and stuff. I do not. I know usually, oftentimes when I'm on stream, and you can see my face. I've got the toy shelf behind me. But we are constantly moving everything around. Basically, as soon as I'm done streaming, I take the camera down, I take the lights down, everything moves around. So it's a lot of work and motion is happening behind the scenes and in between streams. It's kind of a pain, but that's just how our lives are. I don't have like a desk space. Or a dedicated one anyway. I just sort of float around the house and do my work wherever it takes me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that arm is not exactly where I want it, but I'm going to wait a minute, let the plastic glue start to dissolve those edges, and then I can adjust it. Because if I adjust it now, it's going to just fall apart completely. So you got to be patient. Let the plastic glue work for you. Let it do what it does best. And then I can adjust. Much better. It's a small thing, but it was just off of where I wanted it to be. Yes, I like that. So a lot of them have this pose where they have one arm that's sort of pulled back. And I think that looks really good with these big claws. Neat. I still need to go back and work on my big project of turning that Cthulhu model into a greater demon. I'll get back to that one of these days. You go rest over there. How are these ladies doing? Good. Okay, last big claw. Who wants it? Who wants the big claw? Do you want the big claw? You look like you want the big claw. Well, Zardoz, that's because the instructions were unclear. And sometimes you just got to do some hobbying without pants. I can sympathize with that. Okay. Again, not quite right, but I'm gonna wait till it sets a little bit before I try to fiddle with that tiny piece right there. Yeah, I mean, and all of the really cool, all that Slaanesh stuff that came last week. Oh, so I talked about how the only thing I was planning on buying from all that new Slaanesh release were the dice, right? Well, I forgot to tell my local store that I wanted those dice. And I sent a message, I think it was it Monday night? Or Sunday night after, yeah, it was Sunday night. A friend of mine works at the store, so I just sent him a message. I said, hey, do you happen to know if you guys have any of those cool Slaanesh dice? And then he said, actually, I don't. Thank you for the follow. Glory to Slaanesh. That's right. And he said, actually, somebody just randomly came in, spent $500, just bought everything that they had left. Yeah, no, I'm thank you, Zardoz. Yeah, I'm sure I could find a set, but I thought that was pretty rad though. Somebody just walked in and was like, "Ooh, these new Slaanesh models, I'll take them all." Okay. I mean, that was pretty Slaaneshi of that guy, so I can't fault him for that. All right, that should work. Again, I'm going off book a little bit here, using all of the big claws. So each one of these will have each one of these 4 models at least will have one big claw, and then I'll have a little claw on the other side, which will be cool. Yeah, so Slaanesh is interesting in a lot of ways, not least of which is because Games Workshop very frequently doesn't seem to know what to do with Slaanesh and how to treat Slaanesh. Well, and at times Slaanesh has been that way, and at times then they change. And yeah, I mean, we're definitely in a period in which Games Workshop is looking to have their game be a little bit more accessible to a wider audience. So of course, with that, they're going to want to tone down on some of those aspects. And I'm not saying those aspects are necessarily wrong and bad, but yeah, the potentially problematic is definitely how I would classify it. Um, and again, there's a lot of aspects of 40K that are very, I don't want to say mature, because there's a lot, because at the same time there's a lot of it that's really goofy and silly. But I guess adult would be a good way of just a blanket statement. But things change, and it's not like Slaanesh is the only part of the lore that's changed. 40K lore is changing all the time. I mean, fantasy lore has changed drastically over the years as well, of course. So, yes, Slaanesh and Slaanesh Demons have gone through some very different looks and feels over the years. I kind of like the current stuff because we're getting, it's not so mindless. I mean, it's like, okay, look, I get it. Haha, sex, drugs, rock and roll. But, now there's a little bit more to it, and a little bit more of a philosophy. The idea that of excess in any way. And like, there was that really cool line when, what was this, late last year? But anyway, it was about how even followers of the other gods have to be careful, because any of their followers who are too focused and go too far in their worship will then switch over to Slaanesh because of that. And like, that's cool. That's something I don't think we've ever heard before. Well, vortexes, I mean, yes, that is true, but on the other hand, there are, Games Workshop always does have those smaller boxes, like the easy to build stuff, like the cultists and stuff in those little boxes. I wish there was a name for that line of all those little ones. Most factions have something in that scale. But and again, there are kids in this, and there are things like the young adult novels and other stuff that's opening up. And I guess at the end of the day, what I'd say is I'm more interested in bringing new people into the hobby, as many as possible, than I am in, oh, I want a faction that's like really hardcore druggy or rapey or something. Because at the end of the day, I don't need that kind of content, and I'd rather overall the game be more accessible to more people. Yeah, the Hellraiser stuff is cool, and that doesn't necessarily, it, even in Hellraiser, it's more of the, like, the temptation aspect than the like the explicitness, I think. I don't know, it's I you probably understand what I'm like getting at. But yeah, no, yeah. Because even then, like, there, like, the Cenobites were, they had flesh exposed, but they weren't nude, right? And it was always like, we're gonna tempt you into this. Are you gonna fall prey to this? But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's all on a spectrum, certainly, and things change, and you do get different focuses at different times. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we have similar thoughts on it. I wish I still had the link, but I saw at one point somebody had done a really interesting. I mean, it was essentially an essay looking at the history of depictions of Slaanesh and Warhammer, and how it's changed, and sort of what was going on in the rest of the game at those times. Because again, this is, most of us watching are American, but not everybody. We have people all over the world here. But at different times the game has had very British elements and satirical stuff, and some of that is reflected in, these different, the changes that have gone on in the lore and in the style of the game. So always interesting to learn more about that kind of stuff. All right, this is the horn blower. So she's got a little humanoid arm that's holding a pretty crazy horn instrument, which I'll show in just a second after this sets. Which will hopefully happen soon. It's a big part to attach to a very tiny arm. And it's not quite straight, so let me try to fix that. It really wants to stay in the position that it first attached. So you see it's like it's a horn. It's a curved horn, and it ends in this cool head with, excuse me, with a big tongue sticking out. That's neat. Okay. That's looking good. All right. So the Daemonettes are on their way. So definitely be able to finish these up next time. Pop on all these heads. Get some little arms. Oh yeah, I gotta do the icon bearer as well. So what's the option here? Oh, I see. That's the option. So you can either do the one with the claw up on the top or the symbol up at the top. I don't know which I'm going to do. I like them both. Well, at least I'll have more cool parts no matter which I choose. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a neat. Yeah, because again, like if you have a god that's all about desire and your innermost wishes and things that you can't necessarily express, what happens when you see. That's a neat point. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with me as I start on my Slaaneshi demons here, working on these Daemonettes. I am gonna get going and take care of the kids for a while. This afternoon, in theory, I'm gonna say in theory, we should be doing the Myths and Video Games stream over on the Pete Wiz channel. Under these last couple of weeks, we have not been able to do that stream. Things have just come up here and there, but hopefully it'll happen today. So keep an eye on your social media, and we'll see what happens. Let's see who else is on right now. Who is on? I got a couple people. Let's do. Okay, raid. Oh my goodness, why is this not going? Yeah, let's see what's Hyper. We'll go see what Hyper's doing. We haven't raided them in a while. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll see what Hyper RPG is up to. Tell them I said hi. I'm sure most of you are already following them, but if not, you can follow them. Tell them how cool I am, of course. We will be doing Warhammer again over there soon. Not this week. It's not going to be every week. But yeah, like I said, it should be soon. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you later today with Myths and Video Games. Like I said, keep an eye on the social media. We'll announce if that's happening or not. No stream tomorrow, and I'll be back on Friday for Figure Friday. What am I going to do on Figure Friday? I don't know. I may continue with these Daemonettes, or I may do something entirely different. I don't know. I'd love to do more painting, but oh my god, I'm so tired in the morning. And doing painting is really daunting to me. So anyway, we'll see. All right, I'm going to raid now. Have a great day, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.